Welcome to Let's Be Real Sports Podcast, presented by Let's Be Real Media. Watch us live on YouTube and Twitter, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at LBR_media. Also, subscribe to us on any podcasting platform.
What's going on? BLJ here, the best hype man in the NBA. Man, I'm here with Let's Be Real. Tune in. Hello.
Let's be real. All right, we back. Let's Be Real Sports Podcast, and look who jumped in at the
Yeah, West Side, West Coast, West Coast in the building.
The fact that he called and he's like, "Yeah, just watch him jump in out of nowhere," and then here you are, abracadabra.
That's how I do it, man. How y'all doing, bro?
I'm blessed. You look hot. You all right? You just ran inside.
Look, it's hot as hell outside.
You're Phoenix.
117.
God, I thought it was hot here.
What is it over there?
Like 117.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Now we down like 14 degrees from that, but that's still 103, 104.
Yeah, that right.
Yeah, Mike.
Mike.
Yes, man. What's up, dog?
All right, man. Y'all know, man. P Shark, Let's Be Real Sports Podcast. This episode, AFC West division is what we're going through. So I guess here in a second. Y'all know me, P Shark, with 2/3 of the Street Hollywood crew, Tail and Sheedy. We are missing Skylar and Trevor this week as they're out of town. So, hey, as y'all always know, remember to follow us on Twitter or X, as it is now, TikTok, IG, and Facebook at LBR_media. Subscribe and watch on YouTube at Let's Be Real Media, and subscribe and listen on 11 different podcast platforms if you prefer audio at Let's Be Real Sports. Also, support the other podcasts on their work, as I just mentioned, with the guys here on Through the Hardaway, along with Savage, and the Jeans Report with our guy, Daren Jeans. Without further ado, let's get to our sponsorship and bring our guests in. Sports betting has rapidly risen in popularity, and I want to connect you all with the opportunity to get started or get ahead. Having multiple sportsbook accounts is the simplest way to maximize your profits, and there has never been a better time to sign up. When you visit our page, signupexpert.com/LBR, you'll be connected to all the sportsbooks in your region, along with the review of each platform and its unique benefits. All these sportsbooks have valuable sign-up offers for new users, and when you register through our link, you will automatically receive the top offer at each one. When you use multiple sportsbooks, you ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful sports betting. If you want to take advantage of these benefits and support our brand, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook at signupexpert.com/LBR. All right, got our guests in here. First up, I'm going to introduce the guy at the bottom right-hand corner, my guy, DJ, host of the DJ's Sports Show. How you doing, my guy?
I'm doing good, man. Pleasure to be on, man.
Good. Glad to have you. Also, the guy down the middle, at the bottom row in the middle, our guy has been here before. He's been on the show before. Daren, Fatboy, FadeAway Sports. How you
What's
doing,
up,
man?
gentlemen? Looking forward to the honor here. We got the captain, P Shark, my fellow Warriors fan, somewhat. We got in the middle there. We got to, and then Sheedy. It's an honor to be on with you guys. Thanks for having me on today. I'm looking forward to it.
Always. Yeah, the guy right below me, my brother, former high school teammate, been on us. He been on our show when we had Starting Five podcast, host of the No Bluffin podcast, Bluff City Media for the Memphis Grizzlies. Chris Ingram, how you doing, bro?
What up, fellas? Man, another Sunday talking sports. I be in the comments watching y'all and stuff on all the respective shows, and so I feel like even those that I know you, Shark, I know Skylar, just from being a classmate. Savage, we were classmates forever, but man, just watching y'all comment, man, I feel like I know y'all. So ready to get started, man.
If you know me, you should not have won that Broncos. Damn well not to win no Broncos. I'm feeling my feelings. I'm
hardly home. Harley home always repping. I ain't from there, but I feel like it. So, my bad, bro.
Oh, man. Before we get started, let's get a couple more comments. Mike said something out there saying it's hot in Arizona. Like he took. Right, said say he's the mayor of Arizona or governor of Arizona. And Toot jumped in the comments to see. Just imagine saying his girlfriend name brought up.
You probably don't.
Oh, funny. And my guy Daren's Ryan said. All right, as we've been doing with this division series, it's time for the main entree. As y'all have seen the last couple of weeks, we did AFC South the first week, AFC East last week. Now we're at the AFC West division and got the AFC West representatives down below. As I said before, basically just educating the audience and us who probably don't follow these teams. And, national media don't talk about everybody. One of these teams, they probably will talk. They do talk about a lot because he's the best player in the NFL, and DJ will get to that in a second, but just pretty much educated us about the other things about these teams, so we'll kind of get an idea about what to expect from these teams coming forward this season. So, DJ, you're up first with the Kansas City Chiefs.
So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, how about them Chiefs? Your reigning Super Bowl defending champions, had a 14-3 record last season. Around this time last year, many people were wondering and questioning, is Patrick Mahomes really the best quarterback in the league? Because people were saying Joe Burrow might be that guy. He's gaining momentum on him because, Joe Burrow had his momentum on him, won 3 games straight. People were really questioning, is Mahomes really that guy? What did he do last season? He shut the haters up. He heard all the noise. Yes, he might be a guy who will always have a smile on his face, but he's really a cutthroat competitor deep down. Ended up winning MVP, Super Bowl champion, and the Super Bowl MVP in the process. And that's without Tyreek Hill as well, that many people were saying, the Chiefs, they're not going to be as dangerous in the passing game. So let's get into some of the key subtractions and additions that they had this offseason. Some of the key subtractions, they lost offensive tackle Andrew Wiley, who's now with the Washington Commanders. They lost defensive tackle Carlon Saunders, who's now with the New Orleans Saints. They released running back Frank Clark, who's now with the Denver Broncos, because they believe they want to save some cap room, and he wasn't really producing like they wanted to in the rushing game. And they also lost Juan Thornhill, their safety, who's now going to the Cleveland Browns. But the key subtractions, in my opinion, we're losing wide receivers Juju Smith-Schuster, who's now with the New England Patriots, and McCall Hardman with the New York Jets. So why was that a big loss for them? Well, those 2 receivers that you might not think are elite in many people's category, they accounted for over 100 catches and 1,200 yards last season. And if you know the Chiefs, they really do a lot of passing in their offensive system. They ranked first in passing touchdowns, passing yards, red zone touchdowns, points per game, and so forth, according to lineups.com. So losing those 2 is going to be a big loss for them in the receiving game. And you're going to have to expect second-year wide receiver Sky Moore to really step it up, along with who they traded for last season from the New York Giants and Kadarius Toney. They also, in my opinion, the biggest loss, though, is losing 4-time Pro Bowler, offensive tackle, Orlando Brown Jr., who went to the rival Cincinnati Bengals. Man, that got to sting if you're a Chiefs fan. He was one of the best offensive linemen in the league, and that's going to be a big loss for them. I want to see how they make up that loss. So what additions did they have this offseason? Well, they added Jawan Taylor, former offensive tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's coming in off a great season. He was rated according to Pro Football Focus, top 15 in pass block rating with a 76.7 rating, and in pressure rate allowed at 5.2% among tackles and true pass sets last season. They also signed edge rusher Charles Omenihu to a 2-year, $16 million deal. He was one of the best available edge rushers last season in free agency, but unfortunately, he's going to be suspended 6 games due to violating the NFL personal conduct policy due to domestic violence. But they also had some key draft rookies. I'm going to get into a few of them who I think are going to make a difference. They drafted Felix Anudoka Uzoma, who was their first-round pick this season from Kansas State. Kansas, stand up. He's your own. He was the reigning Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. He had 46 tackles, 11 for loss. 8.5 of those were also sacks, and he forced 2 fumbles. So he comes in right away. He's like 6'3", 280 pounds, big guy, athletic, explosive, coming off your edge. He can bring more depth to their pass rush and take more pressure off Chris Jones. Some other signings they had this season were Derek Nottie, the defensive tackle, they re-signed. They also got Byron Cowher from the Indianapolis Colts for a defensive tackle as well. They add more depth to the defensive line to take some pressure off Chris Jones, who right now is holding out due to contract disputes with the team. Who else did they add? Because they were one of the worst defending the pass last season. And they added linebacker Drew Tranquill from the Los Angeles Chargers, who last season, oh, sorry, Daren, whoever has the Chargers, I'm sorry, we took your guy. He had 95 solo tackles, 51 assisted. He had 5 sacks last season as a starter for the Chargers and 146 tackles in total. So he's going to make a big difference in defending the pass, what the Chiefs really need if they want to defend their Super Bowl title, as they're looking to become the first team to repeat since the Patriots did it in 2004-2005 with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. They also added Mike Edwards as well, safety from the Buccaneers, who brings Super Bowl pedigree, championship. Pedigree, knows how to win on the big stage. He won with the Buccaneers in 2021. And they signed Nick Allegretti as well, the guard they resigned, who could play the guard position and also slot in at the center in case Creed Humphrey, who's an all-world center, one of the best in the game, in case he gets hurt or something, he has versatility to play both the guard position and the center position. Rashee Rice is the second-round pick from SMU, who they signed, who could bring some wide receiver depth that they need, filling in along with Marquise Valdes-Scantling. They got Richie James from New York Giants and Justin Watson as well. And he's been making rave reviews. We're going to get into some training camp news a little bit later on, and they also signed Wanya Morris, offensive tackle, who brings more depth to the offensive line at Oklahoma. So those are some of the key additions and subtractions that they have had this offseason. But also, let's get into some other changes as well, whereas they have a new offensive coordinator now, Matt Nagy, who was promoted in February. Eric Bieniemy is no more, unfortunately, as last 5 seasons, he's done a great job there in Kansas City. And Matt Nagy, so let's get into his profile. Matt Nagy, last year, he was the QB head coach and senior offensive assistant for the Kansas City Chiefs. But prior to that, the 4 seasons before, he was head coach for the Chicago Bears. He was 34-31 throughout that tenure with the Bears. Fortunately, they didn't have much playoff success. They were 0-2 in the playoffs, and then in 2021, they went 6-11, and they let him go. But in his inaugural season in 2018, they did win the NFC North title. So he has proven he can win a little bit, but we want to see more, especially when you're coming off Eric Bieniemy, who's now going to be the offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders and the assistant head coach, as he wanted to have more of a challenge in his career and take the next step. That's why he ended up leaving Kansas City. So why did Andy Reid hire Matt Nagy? Well, Matt Nagy, they have history together. He coached under him as offensive coordinator under Reid for 3 seasons in Philadelphia with the Eagles, and then also with the Chiefs in 2016 and 17. With Reid and the Chiefs, they actually ranked 20th in league yards and 16th in points per game in 2016, and they only elevated in 2017 to 6th overall in league yards and then 5th in points per game. So he has proven he could run an offense, but I want to see what he can do with Bieniemy gone, because that's a big loss. Bieniemy not only elevated the Chiefs to new levels, they ranked top 3 in total yards per game 3 times. They finished top 5 finishes 4 times in the last couple of years. He also helped elevate the players. Patrick Mahomes, he turned into a 2-time MVP, the fastest to 9,000 yards, 75 touchdowns in just 30 games as a starter, in his first 30 games as a starter. And then he also had, under Bieniemy, Travis Kelce had 5 of his 7 1,000-yard receiving seasons, which is incredible to think about. And also an NFL record, 1,416 yards, which is a record for a tight end, and 11 touchdowns in 2020. Shout out to some of the websites that I saw that on. But also, we have to get into Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, he molded into a perennial All-Pro and 2-time perennial All-Pro in the league, and also a Pro Bowler who turned into the Cheetah. Before Eric Bieniemy, Tyreek Hill was a good player, but he wasn't as renowned and known, prestigious as he is now. Now the wide receiver of the Miami Dolphins, unfortunately. We miss you, Tyreek Hill. Shout out to you. But yeah, Eric Bieniemy, he was a game changer. I hope he gets a head coaching job one day. But Nagy has a lot of big shoes to fill, in my opinion, as Bieniemy has led them to 2 Super Bowl championships, 5 consecutive AFC championship games. And to me, the Chiefs should have 4 Super Bowls. 2019, that penalty, Chris Jones, that killed me. I ain't gonna lie, that killed me. And then in 2021, their offensive line got depleted. Like, Mahomes was playing with the third stringers out there. I know you Buccaneers fans, you're going to hear this. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be honest. If we had our offensive line, our elite offensive unit healthy, I think we would be 3-time Super Bowl champions right now. So that's what I want to say to you guys. Some training camp news I've been hearing a little bit. Uzoma, who, like I said, he was a Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year out of Kansas State, hometown kid. He's been making rave reviews, showing why he was a first-round pick, being explosive off the edge, rushing the quarterback and looking elite. You also have Rashee Rice from SMU, who's been getting rave reviews as potential a top-tier wide receiver. And he's been forming great chemistry with Patrick Mahomes. and that's going to do wonders for them. Considering Kadarius Toney, he's out with a torn meniscus that he suffered in pre-practice session the first day of training camp, which is going to hurt them because they're kind of depleted at the wide receiver position. They don't have the same weapons that they used to have in years past, so they're going to need those guys to step up, such as second-year wide receiver Sky Moore. They're going to need Rashee Rice to continue to do what he's doing. If he could continue to do what he's doing in training camp, show that in the preseason, and then take that to the games, that's going to do wonders for their offense. And then Chris Jones, he's holding out right now. They're trying to come up with a contract for him. He wants to be the highest paid, if not the highest paid, then the second highest paid defensive pass rusher in the league. He's looking for a deal around $30 million per year, similar to around Aaron Donald of the Los Angeles Chargers, who's making $31 million a year. And he's deservedly so. He deserves it. He's had 232 pressures over the last 7 seasons, which is second to Aaron Donald with 274 in that same time frame. He's had 65 sacks in that 7-year span. And last season, he had 15.5 sacks and a dominant showing in the AFC Championship game. So he's deserving of the money. It's just a matter of if they're willing to give him that, because they also have a lot of young guys coming up in the future, really talented. They're going to have to extend. So, yeah, those are a little rundown of some of the Chiefs offseason. Also, I can't forget Justin Ross, undrafted wide receiver. He went through a lot of adversity, neck and back injuries as well. It's a guy who had to get out the mud. I'm talking about dealing with injuries and being undrafted. So that's a double whammy right there. And he's been making great reviews in training camp as well. Andy Reid has had nothing but good things to say about him and his work ethic. And that'll be a great Cinderella story for not only the Chiefs, but for the league, to see a guy who had to overcome adversity with injuries and being undrafted to now be a potential impact player for the Chiefs. And I think with Toney being out with injuries, that's going to open up a slot for him. So that's a little rundown of some of the Chiefs offseason.
Cool, man. Very thorough, man. Sound like just like a real NFL reporter.
Oh man, thank you, man.
That was good.
That's why you take notes and review them, man.
Hey, that was real good. But hey, open for questions. All right, talk to reality. All right, if I got questions.
Let me see. I'll start us off, man. One thing that I'm definitely looking at would be the receivers that Mahomes will be throwing to. We know Kelsey is A1 for day one, but I'm really concerned that we don't really see who would be WR1 as far as the Chiefs go. And I'm looking at something from, hold on one second, arrowheadpride.com. And it said that, had it up, there we go. On passes traveling 10 to 19 yards downfield, Mahomes only completed 47% of those attempts, meaning half of those he dropped, half of those, whatever, less than half of those. So that's kind of concerning for somebody that you're expecting to be wide receiver one. To that you say,
yeah. Well, outside of Kelsey, you do have a point in terms of being concerned of the wide receiver department. In my honest opinion, I think Toney, once he gets back healthy, I think he has the talent and the ability to be a number one wide receiver. But it's all a matter of staying healthy, because he has not really proven he can stay on the field for a prolonged period of time. Sky Moore, he kind of had a disappointing rookie season last year. Many expected more from the second-round draft pick in 2022. But I expect now he has more confidence being in the system for a year now. He knows the in and outs of the schemes, Andy Reid, how they like to slot him, where they want to put him. I think those two guys are the main options I expect to take the next step and be potential wide receiver options number one. And if Rashee Rice, man, if he continues to do what he's doing in training camp and could bring that to the field, I think we're looking at a rookie who could make a lot of noise this season.
Yeah, and to be fair, I don't know who was. I guess Juju was wide receiver one last year. I didn't really have a true wide receiver one last year.
Ever since Hill left, I don't even know who to call wide receiver one for the Chiefs.
Travis Kelsey's been wide receiver one.
Yeah, exactly. So
he a tight end, man.
Wide receiver one.
He does it all, man. He blocks everything. He's one of the best, man.
Yeah, I know.
Some people arguably have him as the best ever, but that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, that's wait till you retire. That could be a discussion. It's a lot of that's a lot of
people have Gronk up there, and even Shannon Sharp, Unc Sharp, he even said Gronk is the greatest tight end ever. That's a lot coming from 3-time Super Bowl champion. So
yeah,
gotta give kudos.
I guess my question would be more centered around Chris Jones. I guess what are they close to a deal, or are they just super far away? Like what's going on?
Well, Chris Jones has stated that he wants to be a Chief for life. So, and that was just a few months ago. So I'm not expecting him to really want to leave the Chiefs, especially with their winning culture. So if I'm Chris Jones, yes, I do want my money, but then again, you got to look at it. He's 29. A lot of guys in the NFL, once they reach that 30 mark, usually when you're outside of the quarterback position, they usually tend to fall off a little bit, like that precipitous drop. But I don't expect him to. He is a great worker. He's a great teammate. And I expect the Chiefs to really give him the deal. Maybe not. He might not get the money exactly what he wants, but maybe in the $25 to $28 million range. He deserves it because he has been proven on the big stage, and he's a big, intricate part of why they won the 2 Super Bowl championships. They don't win those championships without him.
Yep. I mean, he won the best in the game, so definitely.
Another person y'all won of those championships without is Eric Bieniemy. So I gotta just say, hypothetically, if that number 1 quarterback in the league ain't looking like the number 1 quarterback in the league, would you, just you personally, DJ, would you put that more so on Mahomes, on Andy Reid, or the fact that Bieniemy left?
That's a good question. I'll probably put that on Matt Nagy. You're coming into a position of a guy who's won multiple championships, who led the top passing offense for the last 5 seasons. They average over 30.1 points per game and 406.2 yards per game during his tenure there, which is incredible. So, and Mahomes has proven, you've seen the guys he's played with, he's dealt with injuries to his players, he's able to maneuver on the fly, improvise. So I can't really put it on Mahomes. He has continued to prove time and time again. He's able to come up there in big situations. Remember that situation a few years ago when they were down 24-0 against the Texans? They had no business in coming back. I thought the game was over. And then I looked at my app on Bleacher Report. They came back and won the game. I would never put anything past this guy. So I wouldn't blame it on Mahomes. And then Reid, before they won the championship 2020, the status or the reputation on Reid was that he can't do it in the big games. He can't do it in the playoffs. And ever since he's paired with Mahomes, what have they done? They've proven the haters wrong. Mahomes has proven his style has worked, even though he's a flashy style. Some people don't like his style. They think he should be more in the pocket, like the old school quarterbacks like Brady and Manning. But he has proven and brought a new flair to the game and forever changed the game, in my opinion. I call him like the Steph Curry of the NFL. He's a daredevil. He's willing to try things that you never thought. I don't know if you guys seen some of the clips, short reels. He's throwing behind the back passes like it's not looking like Magic Johnson. I'm like, man, he's supposed to go on the basketball court, man. The Knicks could use him right now. They could use another point guard. He runs in some rest sometimes, playing him 45 minutes in the playoffs. I'm like, yo, what are you doing, man? But yeah, if I had to blame anybody, I'll have to. If they don't be successful this year, I'll have to put on Nagy.
Yeah, so I want to double down on that question as well. First of all, are you a Knicks fan?
Nah, I just like great NBA players, but I just want to shout them. Yeah, at the point of the Knicks. Yeah, don't run Russ into the ground. We love him over there, man. We love him over here. Please, he's the best thing that happened to us for a while now. It's been a little while. Definitely in
Julius Randle. But anyways, so Matt Nagy, we got to get back to this Matt Nagy point because you mentioned Eric Bieniemy has had your offense in the top 3 in the past 3 seasons, I believe. And when you look back at Nagy's resume, so to speak, only Mitchell Trubisky, Chase Daniel, Nick Foles, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields may be the best quarterback that he's had, most talented. I don't know. But where do you see this offense now lying? Like, where are they going false like that 6 through 10 range, or do you see them 11 through 15? Because I do believe there'll be a drop off with Nagy coaching. I don't believe it'll be that far because I do believe that Patrick Mahomes is not, if not the best quarterback in the league. So I'm not going to put anything past him. But even when Tyreek Hill left, like you said, there was some drop off there, but we thought there would be drop off. So where do you place this offense in a range of like 6 through 10?
Oh, where I think they'll rank?
Yeah.
Honestly, you do have a point. I think their offense is going to take a little bit of a dip, but I still expect them to be a top 10 offense in the league just because of Mahomes and the Kelsey connection. They're a dynamic duo. They're one of the best quarterback tie-in duos we've ever seen. They won multiple Super Bowl championships, and they just have that will to win. They're going to push their teammates every day to get better in practice. I also expect Isaiah Pacheco, the second-year running back, to take a next step this year. He's going to get more snaps now in the run game with Clark being gone now. And to me, he was more productive last season in the snaps he got to play than Clark. So I expect him to take another step this season as well. He also was like an extra pass blocker for them and like an extra receiver in the slot for them as well. So I expect Mahomes and Kelsey to find a way to make it work for them because they've done it over the years. I've seen them improvise time and time again. Even sometimes as a Chiefs fan, I thought, I don't know how they're going to win this game, and they somehow find a way to come back. Like when they came back, that Bills game against the Bills a few years ago, I said, whoa. I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. That was the greatest football game I ever witnessed live. I think that was in the 2022 playoffs that year. I was like, man. But yeah, those two, Kelsey and Mahomes, I never put anything past them. And then Reid as the mastermind, the big three, I got to give it to them. They've proven to us time and time again. We can't count them out.
Cool. Let's see. I guess one correction. Frank Clark was the defensive end. So I think you think about Clyde Edwards. Well, Clyde Edwards.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Clyde Edwards-Helaire, yeah, he was the running back too. But Frank Clark, I think he was a running back too. He was on their roster.
Now Frank Clark was the pass rusher.
Pass rusher, okay. Yeah, some reason I was looking on Kansas City website. It said Frank Clark running back. So
okay, it's
they probably messed up there too.
Is it Edwards-Helaire still there?
Say it again.
Is Clyde Edwards-Helaire still there? I think.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
But I think Pacheco taking all his snaps. They kind of out on him.
Yeah.
But anybody else?
Oof, hot in here now, sweaty. When I ran for trying not to turn the AC on, trying not to have too much background noise, you know.
We're gonna you defending chance, man. We're gonna chill. We're gonna chill.
That's the champs, man. But let's go on to some of the since our Chargers rep person, I think last minute out, so he's not gonna be on. So we're gonna go to the bottom dwellers of the division from last year. Starting with the Raiders. Daren, what's going on with the Las Vegas Raiders?
What's going on?
Hey, technically third place. I'm just gonna say technically got the Broncos dead last, so we got to finish with them. Chris just had to let you know on that. Here, so DJ, I'm not gonna be able to stat you on some of those things here, but here's Raiders fan. Here's the biggest one. They haven't won a playoff game since 2002. That's the right away. That's always my biggest concern with them. Right there, Titans. Sorry, P Shark. That's who they beat. That's the one. The last time they've won. So it's been 20 years. This year in the offseason, for me, these are my big. For me, a well-needed change at quarterback. I'm glad they got a new quarterback. I was over Carr, so I'm glad we got Garoppolo over there. That's the biggest offseason.
Oh, man.
We signed Jacoby Myers after we made a deal with him. If he throws the ball backwards 50 yards and we get a touchdown off of it, we'll sign him to a 3-year, $33 million deal. So that was our upgrade at wide receiver. He's supposed to give us a little bit more depth to go with Adams. Hopefully Renfrow has a bounce back year. He was terrible last year. He fumbled multiple times on like little routes that killed us at the end of the game. One of them in particular that cost us a game at the end of the year. They signed a little bit more depth. This is the weakest area, the two weakest areas the Raiders have been at for years, as well as linebacker and cornerback. Like in my lifetime, in those positions outside of Charles Woodson have never been addressed for just decades. It's crazy. So they signed Peters, Epps. I wouldn't say those are your top-notch corners, but hopefully they're a little bit more mistake-free than the guys have been before. Because of the penalties they get on 3rd and 4th down. We all remember the last regular season game where the Chargers played the Raiders a couple of years ago. I mean, I don't think Herbert can convert any more 3rd or 4th downs on a last possession than you could that year. So that's been the Raiders' problem as well for years. And then the biggest concern for their defense is they don't get pressure on the quarterback. If you don't get pressure in the quarterback in the NFL, you're not winning games. It's just not happening. They got 27 sacks last year. They drafted Wilson with the 7th pick overall this year. They draft Young from Alabama in the 3rd round. Hopefully those two guys together give them a little bit more push with Crosby at the other spot, who's a beast for them at the defensive end spot. But he can't do it by himself, so hopefully that's the other thing. And then they haven't lost Devontae Adams yet, so that was a good thing. They've held on to him. I'm sure that's to be still a big storyline. And then, of course,
you said, like it's going to happen now.
Well, you don't know, man. I know with the Raiders, you never know half a year down the line. Like he lost his guy Carr. So that to me is the biggest concern. We'll see if him and Garoppolo don't build a connection. You never know where that stuff goes. So hopefully that's my one thing I'm really pointing towards them at the beginning is they got to get a connection. And then, of course, there's Josh Jacobs, the leading rusher from last year, sign a contract. I think he does at the end of the day. I think he does because usually running backs don't have a better career if they sit out a year, but I don't know. I think he ends up coming back. So those are, to me, the big things that they ended up doing this offseason. We'll see what happens for them going forward.
Right. Question. Well, I can start the questions on this one.
Yeah.
Jimmy G, normally he's known to win games. He's like one of those regular season quarterbacks like Titans. We got Ryan Tannehill, who kind of they get disrespected in the grand scheme of things because in the playoffs they don't show up. But people kind of act like they can't win at all. Like they just are. They don't win the regular season, but they win the regular season. So Jimmy G, with that switch from Derek Carr to him, do you expect y'all just for him, whatever he does, he finds a way to win games the regular season. Do you expect y'all to improve just from making that switch because he's just known to win games?
That's the weirdest thing, right? You're going from like average to average a little bit. You're just trying to hope your average is a little bit better this time around, basically, with him. The one thing I'll say this is like, with Garoppolo, Carr, the thing that frustrated me the most with him is that he made mistakes a lot towards the 4th quarter. And I know a lot of people think of that Garoppolo run in the playoffs he had, where he was like playing with a shoulder injury where they beat the Packers in snow. Like that's kind of the memory. But like other than those, like he usually is pretty solid with his decisions, like his checkdowns and that point from there. But my problem with Carr was always like the fumbles and interceptions. I'm hoping Garoppolo can cut down on some of those decisions, be a little bit more third down efficient. The Raiders were not good in third down situations most of his tenure there. They would get big plays with them, but they had a hard time sustaining drives, which then would eat more time up. And if you have one of the worst defenses in the history of the league for the last 20 years, you want to keep them off the field. So like to me, that's a big thing with like Garoppolo. I'm not going to sit here and like say massive upgrade. I'm just kind of saying I think Carr had run his course with the Raiders, and I think it's time to get fresh blood in there at the quarterback position.
I got a question.
That's it.
Devontae Adams, he literally went to Vegas because he wanted to hook up with his buddy Derek Carr. Derek Carr is no longer there. So do you think he's going to be there past the trade deadline?
That's why it was number 5.
Be honest,
number 5 on the concern list. Number 5 on the concern list there.
Let's be real.
I'm gonna say he does make it all the way through the year, more based on the fact that the NFL, I don't see as many trades. That's the more at this point of the year. That's what I'm more basing it on. I think something have to go crazy wrong. Garoppolo does have injury history. If we're starting to get to Hoyer, Aiden O'Donnell, 4th week of the season, we might be in that type of territory, where he's asking for a request. But I would say there's a 90% chance he plays out the whole year with the Raiders. Better chance next offseason something like that happens.
I agree with that because you guys remember his contract.
That's a tough one too.
Those contracts don't get traded in the middle of the season in the NFL.
Unless you're giving us something back with the same contract, that doesn't happen.
The reason I ask is because the production of wide receivers, like we're literally in a league where running backs ain't getting paid because wide receivers are getting thrown to more. And if I know that Jimmy G go get hurt sometime eventually, and I'm looking at it, do I want to sit here and play with a rookie quarterback? Because ultimately, that's what I think is going to happen to the Raiders. I've been with the Raiders. I like the Raiders, but y'all been sucking. So my thing is, if you're going to suck, go ahead and suck all the way and get one of the top picks.
Yeah.
But if you're Devontae Adams and you're top 3, top 4 wide receiver in the league, do you want to stay with this organization?
I think he tried to get traded in the offseason. I think he asked about it. I think that's where he did. I bet his agent threw that around to teams. I would not. Yeah, it's got to be something, right? I mean, there's no way. He had to be thinking the same thing. Or he's pissed because they told him Carr is going to be there. And obviously, if you're told something at work and then that changes, you're kind of at least a little riled up for a little bit. You know what I mean? And sometimes you vent a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. And then they say what Shark said there is dude, your contract's it's not happening, and you're one of the top 20 players in the NFL. It's not going to happen. So I think that's why I think he's with them the rest of the year. I saw Ryan had a question about McDaniels. That's also my concern. I think he's one of the worst coaches in the league. We have him. That's what I think.
I had a question.
Yeah.
You go.
So, say the Raiders don't have a great season or Garoppolo gets hurt early in the season. Do you think they should tank for Caleb Williams, who's getting a lot of praise as the next Patrick Mahomes, Heisman Trophy winner?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're going to suck all the way, like you said. When was the last time the Raiders make the playoffs, man?
2000. The last time they've made the playoffs was 2016, 17 when they played the Bengals there, but won a playoff game was 02. They won it.
Man, I was 2 years old.
Yeah, we was fine.
It was 21 years ago. I was a baby.
I was at Oakland Coliseum there.
I'm a 2000 born baby, man. I'm 2000 born. So damn, I was on diapers last time.
It was fine Iraq back then. All right, my fault. Go ahead.
I mean, that Tampa Bay defense y'all lost to in the Super Bowl just got their 4th Hall of Famer yesterday. Right there, Barb.
Come on, unnecessary. Unnecessary.
Hey man, yeah. If Garoppolo gets hurt early on, man, all I say is tank for Williams,
they
man.
Do. They don't. They've never Carr. People consider their best quarterback, and for the last 10 years, yes, tank, get a stud quarterback, please. Talking
about generational talent here, so
at least my guy on the Panthers up here now, he's got the number 1 pick. You got some hope a little bit, so that's what you want for sure. I'm with you on that. Tank.
I can't wait to talk about my boys. I can't wait.
Sure you can.
I can't wait. But look, what's up? What you think y'all gonna have a good season? Y'all good? You confident?
So best case scenario. 11. Like that's everything breaks right. Everything in the world right. I think to me, there's how can I look at you and say they're no more than an 8-win team? I have them at 8. Go Raiders. I got them at 8. The 8 and 8ers. That's what they're called out here. Like, but they can only go 8 and 9 now. So it's 8 and 9 now. So
8 and 8ers.
That's what they're called out here. That's what they always do. And I'm a fan of the team. That's the frustration they've built over the years with this team. So how can I sit here too and say, yeah, they're going to win 11 games? I just can't. And we just talked up Mahomes. It's hard to sell that. So that's the hardest point of it. I'm just hoping they develop on defense. That's all I care about. Just something on defense for the love of God. Put up something on defense.
The 8 and 8ers is worse than the Wizards. The Washington Wizards. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Hold on,
Oh my God, man.
So to that, whatever you just called them, this Raiders team hasn't won a playoff game. We talk about how the Cowboys haven't won a playoff game or whatever for a while, but the Raiders haven't won a playoff game since it was that Jerry Rice and Tim Brown were receivers back then. So my question to you is, like, what is that pass rush should be more elite than what it is, right? I heard you talk about linebackers. What's going on in those defensive tackles that you think may be hurting the pass rush, or do you need a new scheme or coordinator possibly because you're playing in a division that you're going to need to rush the passer, whether it's Russell, Pat, or Herbert. So what are you guys doing defensively, or now what do you hope happens so you can get those 8 wins?
Yeah, they got Nichols and they got Terry at the defensive tackles. They came on a little bit last year, but they were kind of pickups. They weren't like your star players. They kind of got them and they played a little bit better when they came on to the Raiders. Again, I think Wilson off the edge, like we already talked about Crosby, but also Young, who they drafted in the 3rd round out of Alabama. I think they're hoping for a little bit more of him. From what I've been reading during the offseason, he's supposed to be giving me a little bit of a push. Hopefully they get a bounce back year from Chris Jones. I mean, he only had 4.5 sacks last year. The year before, he had been very good. So, I mean, like, you sign this guy to give you 8, 9 sacks, and he gives you 4.5. There's some production right there. And like you said, we need something from the defensive tackles. That's honestly a huge concern. And it's been because if you don't stop the run up the middle and you don't get a pass rush up the middle, that's, one-on-one football right there. So to me, that's right there. Definitely one of their biggest issues. We'll see if one of these guys step up, Nichols, and they maybe get the job done. They did come on a little bit at moments last year.
Golly, I just looked up the number 1 song in 2002.
What
was it?
Macarena.
No, it's not the Macarena, like Sheedy's.
No.
Ironically,
That was funny.
the Macarena is the last time that the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl.
Macarena was like 96.
That's the last time the Cowboys.
That was before my time, and I didn't even know that.
I mean, we're gonna chill on these. But the song 2002, ironically, if y'all watched the fight last weekend, Eminem Lose Yourself. That was a number 1 song.
Well, they've lost ever since.
Ironically.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Lose Yourself.
They lost some sales.
Hey, Mike said the Raiders were signing Jesus to play defensive back.
Oh, man. I don't even know if that helps.
Oh man. But moving forward, before I'm actually have Chris go next, but we got our guest who's covering the Chargers. So I'm finna break him in. Ray, how's it going, man?
Hey, better late than never.
hey, glad you right in. But we can't hear you.
And with no volume.
You on mute.
Make sure you off mute, bro.
Okay, there we go. I got no bills.
Good, man. I appreciate you hopping in. But first up, before we get to the Chargers, you're gonna get the Broncos. Chris, gonna let us know what's going on in Broncos country.
Take the hat off. Damn.
Are y'all still riding?
Man, listen here. Good evening, everybody listening. Let's start out with these Broncos record last year, man. So we went 5-12, absolutely terrible. And we probably would have had one of those top picks in the draft this year if we hadn't traded away for the corniest quarterback in the NFL. But that's okay. That is okay. I one of them guys, I respect Russell and his relationship and everything. Like, that's great to see black love, and Sierra was my, growing up, man, that was bae. So, shout out to him. There's no hate there at all. I'm proud of him. But, for him to do all of that corny stuff that he did, once he got to Denver, like I ain't even like let's throw out what he's been known for his whole career. The guy, you can't take away his football ability. Like he's been a great quarterback up until he had some injuries the last couple of years. But he comes there and starts off this let's ride and man, it was terrible, bro. And to look at, we were last in the division last year. Just looking at what we gave up to get Russell Wilson, which I was very excited about. Don't get me wrong. Like, I get into the back situation in a minute. We gave up 2 firsts back-to-back years, 2022, 2023. We gave up 2 seconds, 2022, 2023. We gave up a 5th round pick as well in 2022. We gave up Noah Fant, which was starting to look like he was going to be, I mean, up there in Seattle, he's done okay. But when he was with us, he started to look like he was going to be something for real. We just had to get a quarterback in there to throw on the ball. Shelby Harris was decent, and Drew Lock, I mean, the most viral moment he's gotten is, dancing to put on. That's really what he's known for. I mean, he was okay, he was cool, but man, we've had a quarterback debacle, bro, for years. I mean, like I started out watching the Broncos. Now I tell you, it's funny, but like when NFL 2K was out, like that's when I first started playing Pee Wee League football. And I'm looking at NFL 2K. Obviously, you're looking at Tennessee. That's home team. That's where I'm from Memphis. So Tennessee was the hometown team. I love the colors. Blue was always one of my favorite colors. But for some reason, I got attracted to that Broncos logo. I mean, y'all look at it, man. Come on, one of the dopest logos and color schemes in the league. And that's really how I became fan of them, playing with them on the game, learned who Shannon Sharp and Terrell Davis. Like, I became a fan through 2K. Like a lot of these kids that play the NBA 2K version nowadays. That's how I became a Broncos fan. I've been a lifelong fan since then. So Jake Plummer was one of my favorite guys, man, and we haven't really had anybody hold it down since Jake Plummer. You look at Kyle Orton, like, I don't even let's skip that situation. I don't even want to talk about him. That man just took money from us, basically. It was the worst situation ever with him, and he just don't care to play ball. Like, he just could have sat down somewhere. Jay Cutler, same thing. That's even worse. Like, we have been struggling to find a quarterback for pretty much my entire existence as a Broncos fan, outside of when we brought in Peyton Manning, and everybody knows how what happened with that. That was great. It was a time to be alive for sure. But the problem is that it almost set off like a precedence, because from him on, like, we've been trying to catch guys late in their prime or catch lightning in a bottle. And so you look at they go and draft they got Brock Osweiler, which people were thinking he was going to be something. Paxton Lynch out of Memphis. Us that watched him in Memphis, we was like, oh, okay, 6'7" quarterback, a slang that junk. Like, he got out there and was terrible. So you look at John Elway, which has been so glad he stepped down. Like, I respect his career and what he did for the game, bro. But like, you have to have one of the worst eyes for talent, and to be a great quarterback like he was. It's just like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I know it sounds like I'm trashing my team, but I got to be honest, bro. Like, if y'all listen, I know, I guess I got to keep it honest. Like, if we terrible, we terrible. And so, we even brought in Case Keenum, Joe Flacco. At the end of his career, Teddy Bridgewater did, decent. I give him, he did what he could do with what he had, made us respectable. But outside of that, bro, we've been struggling. So, like I said, to get back on track with Russell, his situation, I'm thinking that it's going to be a better season this year, because I'm glad. I'll get to that just here in a second with our coaching situation. That's another thing we really struggle with. Mike Shanahan, the GOAT Broncos coach that we've had. John Fox came in and, he had a great roster, but you also got to put the pieces together, and he did a good job of making us competitive while he was there. Same thing as the quarterback position. We haven't had a stabilizer in their locker room or somebody that knows the X's and O's. I can't remember which game it was. I want to say it was the first, but I may be wrong. And this was one of my breaking points when I decided I wasn't going to pay for league pass last year. Not league pass, my bad. Sunday ticket. Because they don't show the Broncos game as much here. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to get, NFL Sunday ticket. I want to see what Russell and that squad is going to do. And it gets to the end of the game, and the coach, he decides the dude that you paying all this money to, that you gave up all these picks to, instead of relying on him, he been terrible the whole game. But instead of relying on him to like actually earn his paycheck, you set up for a field goal and you miss. And that started a precedent throughout the whole season of just terrible mistakes. You bring in an advisor to help you make better football decisions, and it just don't work out. Like, exactly, bro. I'm saying league pass. Exactly. I had to go get league pass. It was so bad. I didn't even want to watch football no more, to be honest. But you know, I'm glad to have it out the way. Like, you can say what you want about the shots being fired and, you know, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets feeling some type of way, but we just got to keep it 100. Like, this dude did a terrible job. He wasn't ready. Like, it was more so a pep rally. But up until, you know, football really was played. And once he got into the game, he didn't know how to adjust and really, you know, get the team where they needed to go. And so I'm glad to have Sean Payton here. I'm not really like super high on him when he was not with us. But you got to respect him and what he did with the New Orleans Saints. So I'm glad to have him there. He's going to be able to kind of just get some structure with this squad because we got young talent. You know, that's the thing about it. Like, they have talent. They just got to put it all together. And I'm not going to be as thorough as DJ, but I am going to kind of just go through our like biggest holes, which have been not even a hole, but just some issues. So like our receiver situation. Cortland Sutton, he's been there for a while. Big receiver. He's he can make a big play, not super fast, but he just got that big body there where he can, he can make some out of nothing. He can make some things happen. He needed somebody to throw him the ball. And so again, Russell coming in, hopefully it's a better season this year in shape, better structure and all that, better offense. You got my favorite out of the group, Jerry Jeudy. Best footwork, I feel like, in the league. I mean, you can argue that with a few guys, but footwork wise, dude is amazing, very talented. Again, you got to get somebody that can give him the ball. It was a lot of times where Russell Wilson, even last year, was throwing lame ducks to the man. He was wide open, and he's having to. That's the worst thing. Like, I played receiver in high school, and that's one of the worst things. Which we didn't have to worry about, Sharky, because Jeff had an arm. One thing about it, you can say whatever, but he had an arm. He could throw that jump to the school from the field. But it's one of the worst things, bro, as a receiver when you have beat your man. Like, you have ran the perfect route, got separation and all of that, and then you got a ball that, especially on a deep route, that's behind you, and you having to stop, slow down. Like, that's not a good feeling. And so, like I said, you got to get somebody that's gonna have to give him the ball. And again, Russell, hoping they worked on that, got whatever injuries he may have been battling out the way. KJ Hamler, heart goes out to him because he's having, some heart issues. They actually cut him. He, shorter receiver, but one of those guys you can throw in the slot that could. He got potential. He battled with some injury stuff as well his first couple of years, but he was showing, the flashes that he can be maybe not quite a Tyreek Hill type guy, but like he had certain, with his speed, he could make plays happen. He may come back, if they can figure out what's going to happen with his heart. But they waived him. Tim Patrick, back-to-back years of season-ending injuries, bro. Like, we don't know. I don't know. It's a tough break to see for him. And so, I will say one of the standout things from the camp has been Montreal Washington, which he had a great camp last season as well. And just when that, I don't even want to call him by his name because he really didn't really help us. But when he brought in the advisor, he really set him on the bench and didn't play him much the rest of the season. So, it is what it is. I think he's gonna get a chance with Patrick being, sitting out and Hamler being, waived. I think he's gonna get a chance to actually be a part of that main three at receiver. Our running backs, Melvin Gordon, bro. I don't know if he played with butter on his hands the whole year, but he fumbled the hell out of the ball the whole season and then was mad when he didn't get a call back. Like, what do you think is going to happen? So glad to see Javonte Williams is about to be healthy. And number one, biggest plus for us right now has been our defense. Top 10 defense, you got PS2, Patrick Surtain the second. Been balling since his rookie year, so glad to have him, especially me growing up watching Champ Bailey and all those guys in secondary, John Lynch and them. Him and Justin Simmons, they can really hold it down when they're on the field. Simmons had some injuries last year. But him, Alex Singleton, you got him at linebacker. He had a really decent year as well. And then you bring in Frank Clark. Like, hey, if Kansas City, if y'all don't want him, great. We one of our glaring needs was pass rushing last year. We will take him. So I'm glad they brought him in. And then one of the other biggest highlights from camp has been Nick Benito. So he's been backing him up, and they make problem out there quite a bit as well. To mess it up. If you got some, great pass rushing along with the secondary that we got, I think we're gonna be pretty good and still be a top 10 defense It's just, our biggest thing is going to be the offense, man. Can we put points on the board? So that's really all I got for the Broncos, man. I'm hoping that, we turn that, we went 5-12. I'm looking for a 12-5 season. As long as they just go about it in a mature way, and then obviously you got to have health on your side too. So I'm gonna predict us to be, you got to give respect to Kansas City, even though I do think that their receiver situation is gonna kind of hamper them a little bit. But I'm definitely looking at us being, second in the AFC West for sure.
Right. I guess I kick off the questions. I really expect our offense to be good. I mean, Sean Payton, what he did with the Saints, Sean Payton is known to be like a real offensive guy. So I expect your offense to get better. I heard you say you think Frank Clark helps y'all at the end. I guess my question would be how much, because Frank Clark did have a pretty disappointing team with the Chiefs based on what he got paid coming from Seattle. Yeah. So how much better do you expect him to really help y'all pass rushing situation without Von Miller and Bradley Chubb?
Because it's kind of like he was saying a minute ago, like you kind of going, you're upgrading from average. Anything is an upgrade. He got the talent. Like he had a, not so great bad. I mean, he had a not so great year last year, but I mean, the talent is there. You know what I'm saying? And when you get those guys again, just getting them in a different system. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Could be some other stuff. From what we were going once we lost Chubb, and again, you talking about Von Miller. We just put in DeMarcus Ware into the Hall of Fame this weekend. Like, trying to replace and get those guys is gonna be a dime a dozen. But if you can just get just guys that you don't have to worry about, I think he's gonna have a bounce back season for sure. And putting him again with the secondary that we got, like just focus on what you got to do. The guys behind you gonna cover their tails off. I think again, just upgrading on what we had from what we lost, I think it's gonna be a plus for us for sure.
First of all, I just want to make a quick correction before anybody else goes. We put DeMarcus Ware in the Hall of Fame. It wasn't just the Broncos, so you know where I'm coming from real quick.
My bad.
On that one. It's okay. Sometimes we overspeak ourselves. Now,
did he get a ring with y'all though?
He didn't, but we didn't have Peyton Manning either. That was a good one though. That was a good one. His Hall of Fame career was because of the Cowboys though, right? Y'all wanted because of what he did there, right? So speaking of the Broncos, right? So,
oh my God.
10 games lost by less than one possession. To that you say, what do you say can make y'all better than the Chargers to take that second place? Because we almost to the Chargers, but we haven't said the Chiefs are number one yet. But if the Chiefs are what we aspire to be, how can you be second with 10 of your games, 2 of those going into overtime, right? And a few of those by one loss. What can you guys do better?
Russell got to be better, bro. I really can't. You had some people that will come out and like try to defend him last year, but like it got to a point to where like he was just making stuff so difficult for himself. And when you point out that stat, like that's so crazy that if Russell was just average Russell last year, it probably changes our season totally. Now, granted, I don't think we was winning no chip at all, but it definitely doesn't end you with a 5-12 record. It was probably the worst Monday. Was it Monday night or Sunday night? I can't even remember who we played, but it had to have been the worst game in NFL history because
Thursday night.
It was Thursday night.
The 49ers.
Bro, yes. Yeah, I think that's what it was because my uncle's a 49ers fan.
Yes.
And we was calling each other like, man, why are we even watching this game? Because neither one of these folks can score. Like, it's just you painting yourself to sit here and watch this. And it was like, if Russell, again, if he was just average Russell, I'm not even saying at an elite level, that game is different. He's missing passes. It's like he wasn't familiar with the playbook. I don't know, bro. I really couldn't put my finger on what the issue was last year without just putting it all or mostly on him and whatever the issue he had going on with the coaching staff and front office or whatever. But I'm thinking, like you said, bringing in Sean Payton, man, feel how you want to feel about him. I think he's going to get these guys from a mentality standpoint. We talk about with the Grizzlies all the time. Like they got the talent that they need to have just a certain structure with our star players and stuff like that. Like bringing that in to get these guys on the right track, I think that's going to do wonders for us. And that's where I see it at. It's not going to be, 10-1 possession games this year. I don't think. I would doubt it. But if that is the case, I think this is the year you will see there's a difference where we actually capitalize on that being able to score the ball. Because our defense, again, they're gonna do what they got to do. I'm not really worried about them too much. Again, pouring health always, but just putting the ball in the end zone, bro. That's gonna be the main thing for us this year. Is being able to score. So that's what I would say to that.
And y'all had 2 games. Mike just put it, and I thought about it right there. I said it. The Broncos Colts game. Y'all had they were in the 49ers. The 49ers was Sunday night football. The Broncos Colts was Thursday night.
They stopped putting us on. They was like, we don't even want to watch this mess no more. And I didn't either. I was like, bro, like, can we just skip? But then I forgot that we didn't have our draft pick. So it's like, if we lose and tank, it don't even matter. Like, we're not rewarded for losing at this point. So
Ryan Harris said banned them off national TV. All the games were trash.
They were last year. Okay, I think DJ, you had the question too. So DJ, you go first.
I had a question. So how do you see Russell Wilson redeeming himself this season? Because he's been, below average since he's been with Denver Broncos. And how do you think Patrick Surtain, who's been really good for y'all defensively, how do you think he could take the next step?
Starting with Russell, like, he's in definitely a better shape. You can look at him physically and say, like, okay, like, as you're getting older, you definitely need to get in better shape. All that muscle and stuff, like, okay, it is what it is. But like, if you still hurt, like, bro, you need to make sure that you can just last throughout the game, throughout the season. You're not getting, you're not getting drained. So him having, again, I can't speak on it enough, bro, because like I said, it's just bringing them both in around the same time is like just so great for us as Bronco fans, because again, we've been lacking with quarterbacks for the last umpteen years, and then coaching staff too. When you put 2 guys that for the most part, the majority of their career, they've been at, the top of their class, it's hard to see guys like that not be able to figure things out. And, again, Sean Payton said it too, like him being like just this trophy that they were trying to host around the locker room and the facility. Like, you ain't proved nothing here for us to do that. Like, so that tells you, like, we've been without a quarterback for so long. Like, what they say, your mom always tell you, like, act like you've been somewhere before. They was not acting like they've been somewhere before last year, bro. Like, it was just pitiful. And I think that, I don't know if Russell just wasn't focused on football or what, bro, but it's definitely been throughout camp. From what I can see, it's been a focus to say, all right, we're going to be real serious about our business this year. And so I'd be surprised if we have another bad year outside of, again, I'm always say health, but if they can put all that together, I think he's gonna have a bounce back year. And they've said it in camp, like his ball pause. His throws are looking better. his throws are looking much better this year than they did last year. He's completing, the deep throws and stuff like that. So I'm excited from that standpoint. PS2, bro, it's not really much. He can always take another step, right? But he's already top 5 corner in the game, and he's only in year 3-4. So again, for him, it's just staying healthy, staying out there, him continue to be out there with Simmons, and just they had that connection. And if you can get pressure on the quarterback, which we've kind of lacked in the last few years, losing these guys, that's going to make their job even easier, So I'm just looking at him to stay where he is. If he takes another leap, then damn, he's going to be on the face of Madden or something. Like, dude is just amazing. So.
Yeah, Mike's like me. It's hard for Russell Wilson to stay focused when your wife Sierra.
That is what I need y'all to understand, Chris. Like, literally, like, and I say this respectfully, like, if my wife made this, I don't give a damn about football. That is what I need you to understand. My man is 34 years old. We're the same height. He's done. Okay? He is done. You can look at the stats. You can call this me being pissed off from 2015 when y'all whooped ass in the Super Bowl. I don't give a damn. You need to understand that even in Russell's last season with the Seahawks, it wasn't as good as the year before. And what happened when he comes to the Broncos? He literally has his worst year of his career. And you're expecting Mr. Right Up, 34 going on 35-year-old, married to one of the most beautiful women ever, to come in and save the day? Don't he got an office in y'all locker room?
I can't tell you if that's so right now, but he did have one last year. That's 100%. So
he also had like 12 bathrooms in his house.
Dog.
I don't know, man. I get it. I get it. Like he definitely was on the he wasn't on the apex of his career when he got there. But again, just being average Russell is all we asking you to do. Being somebody that can come in and manage the game, bro. We're not asking you to continually roll out and make spectacular plays. We don't really need you to do that. It's
you rolling out, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he is, man. So I don't know. If it was me, I can't really make that excuse. Him being married to Sierra, I would think that would motivate you to go out there and just do a little better. That's just me personally, because I know what I get done, what's coming to me when I get done. But
I ain't gonna lie. If I feel like I made it in life, I'm taking a step back. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
y'all got it, but I do got a serious question though.
He did get the Super Bowl, got his money.
Exactly, got the Super Bowl, got the money. Should have had 2 of them, but that's near. Got his wife, got beautiful kids. Like he chilling. But I do have a serious question though, and thank y'all so much for literally giving us a Vero because y'all ain't want to pay him. Y'all were number 2 in defense last year. How much of a step back? Because y'all gonna take a step back. How much of a step back do you expect y'all to have?
I don't think it's just gonna be huge. I really don't. I mean, you still bring in most of your core guys back. I believe we still got our same defensive coordinator and stuff like that. So I don't see it being, a big drop off.
Nah, we got y'all defensive coordinator.
I'm tripping. You're right.
That's what I was saying. Thanks.
Oh my God. Yes, you're right.
Dang, y'all was so bad you can't even remember your defensive coordinator. He ain't there no more.
My bad. You're right.
Vegas Raiders number 3.
It is what it is. The players are still there. The players are still there. I don't. You got me on that one. You're right.
Number 4 Denver Broncos, top 4 pick in NFL draft coming soon.
No. I can't rock with that one. Like I said, if you still got your same core guys, all I'm looking for, again, I'm gonna keep harping back on it, is for that offense to just take a step. If the offense takes a step, bro, like this is a different conversation. So I still look at this number 2, even without him. Like, yeah, he was great for what he did. Damn, I did not realize he was gone. My bad. He done messed me up on the show. We'll see, man. I still got a number 2. I'm sorry. That's just me. I'm sticking to it, man. I ride with my guys.
So does Russell, clearly. Yeah.
Russ
gonna ride with you, right?
Right into the first pick in the NFL draft.
Today got the first round pick.
Oh, we got it this year.
Okay.
No, we might. Yeah.
Trade their light for us. All right.
Russ, though, I don't know if you heard that, like about I think it was his therapist or something, maybe passed away, and they said that had a lot to do with like his mentalness and like not able to learning the play calls. Did you hear anything about that?
I remember vividly like something with the play. It was something going on off the field. I didn't get really too deep into it because I'm gonna be honest. Like once I just saw what I saw last year from, like I said, the way that the game was being managed and his performance, it turned me off a lot, bro. I'm a Titans fan, number 2. Like that's my second team. Again, that's home team, so I'm gonna always look at them. As long as they're not playing the Broncos, I'm gonna root for them to do well. If they playing us, then that's a different story, which we rarely do. But I did hear, it was something in regards to something that was affecting them off the field and with the playbook. But still, bro, that like if it's a play, it's great. It was his performance. Like I said, it was so many times where you had Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton down the field, and they having to almost stop and come back to the ball, and they were not running comebacks. These were like go routes, long posts. Like it was awful to see. It was even like short, like out routes that they were running, or maybe crossing routes to get first downs where like he was just missing them. So it could be something, where his mind wasn't there. And again, we shall see this year. I'm counting on him. Is with all the corny stuff that he do, like I'm still counting, betting on this man to have a better season this year than he did last year. Because last year, like it can't get worse. And if it do, then we just curse with our quarterback situation. It is what it is. John Elway has done one on us with our quarterback situation. If this is a worse season than last year, so we'll see.
I expect Russell to come back focused.
All I gotta say is The quarterbacks, the Chiefs and the Chargers, we good on our quarterbacks. That's all I gotta say. We good on our side.
Let's go to a team that actually did finish second place in the division last season.
That may not be good.
The LA
Tell him to
Chargers.
knock on some wood, bro. Just tell him to knock on some wood, please.
Right.
Let us know.
The Chargers, man. One of the big things with us, as everybody probably knows, injuries. It's like year after year, they say, y'all soft out there, the weather too good, all that good stuff. But man, it's gonna come down to that, to what we look like, man. We actually made some moves, the past few years, bringing in Khalil Mack, but unfortunately, Bosa got hurt, and then Keenan Allen got hurt week 1 against the Raiders, so he was out. Then Mike Will got hurt, and then next thing you know, we got a guy. Was it DeAndre Carter was our number 1 receiver, and we had 2 other guys that never played 2 snaps in the NFL, which Herbie still made it work. And then Herbie's out there playing with something with his ribs. I forgot. It's one thing after another. But man, if we can stay healthy, which is if was a fifth, you know what I'm saying. But if we can stay healthy, man, I think we could really give Chiefs a run for their money. But it's like, man, between being healthy and then just missing tackling was terrible past few years. I don't know if y'all remember that epic overtime against the Chiefs where slow Travis Kelce just ran up the middle and just made everybody miss. Which actually the main guy missed, actually y'all picked him up, Drew Tranquil, by the way. So have fun with that. Which he's pretty good, man, but he does miss a lot of tackles. I like the Quentin Johnson pickup. It's growing on me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the biggest fan on it because he was good in college, but I feel like he caught the ball out with his chest. He wasn't a go up and grab it type dude. And I feel like a lot of games in the past season, he just kind of disappeared a little bit against not so many good conference teams. But he's growing on me. He's been looking good in practice. So he's a real big yak guy, and that's somebody we need. Mike Will's a go up there and grab it type guy. Keenan Allen, he's just a route slayer. He ain't gonna get no yak, but he gonna get open. You know what I'm saying? People still kind of sleep on him. I still say he's one of the most underrated receivers in the league for the past 5 years. He gonna make it work, man. We finally revamped our line. Rayshawn Slater, he got hurt, but he's back looking good. We found a gem in Jameer Slayer. He was on that Georgia team. They won the national championship. Got him in the 7th round. One of our guards ended up hurting last year. We ended up sliding him in to start. Man, did great. And had one of the best numbers grading against all the rookies across the lot. So I'm excited this year, man. I can't wait. I'm just hoping to get healthy. And more importantly, we got Joe out because I was getting irritated with all them slants and stop and go routes the whole season. We not throwing the ball over past 15 yards when you got Justin Herbert back there. So that was I think he went to the Broncos or somebody. So have fun with that. But yeah, so we got Kellen Moore now. So you see he got the Cowboys and Dak out there putting numbers up, and that's one thing we could never do. We could never put points in his zone because of play calling, man. It frustrated me a lot. We send in screens of Keenan Allen like he runs 4-3. We send the screens of Mike Will, and it just wasn't favorable with that type of player. So with Quentin Johnson, we got some speed in there, some yak in there. So that's really good. And then Kellen Moore bringing in a more explosive offense. I've been loving the downfield passing since training camp starting so far because I know y'all remember the infamous Jags game in the playoffs where, blew the 24 point lead. I got an interesting picture actually. We actually didn't throw a pass over 15 yards the whole game, which is kind of crazy to stay out there. And let me see, Austin Eckler issue with contract, it ended up working out for another year, so we'll see what we do about that. But Austin gonna do what he do. He's one of the strongest guys in the league. He's a little guy, but he's heck of hard to take down, strong. We need somebody back behind him to step up. So we got a few guys in Justin Kelly and another guy named Roundtree that they're not no standout guys, but they serviceable. But these days, you kind of don't have to have a big name to win. Apparently, you just kind of play the shuffle game at the back and then go from there. Defensive wise, let me get back to that. We got Derwin James. We had a guy retire last year, Nazir Adderley, the other safety on the side of Derwin, which he was all right. He wasn't too bad, but he wasn't like a standout type guy. I am gonna miss Drew Quill a little bit, but we got Eric Kendrick, so that's a better version of him, a little older, but he's gonna make that tackle for sure. That's really big because linebacker and run stopping has been real terrible for us the past few seasons. But Joey's back healthy. Another reason why he said he's been hurt a lot because he actually dropped a lot of weight because they had him doing some drop back coverages, which I don't know why. Wasn't a fan of that, but now he put on another 20 pounds or so to get back to his normal brute strength to get to that pass rushing. So Khalil Mack and Bosa together, they trouble that. I know the Raiders fan in there that first game of the season last year. Mack had 3 sacks. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? I think he had 3 or 4 sacks. But Mack still got it. He's a little older, but he still has it. We got Sebastian Day, Joseph in the middle too, not too bad. He's not like a guy's gonna give you a lot of flashy numbers, but it's not about the numbers sometimes. It's about what you do, making the presence for the linebacker easy for to shoot them gaps and not getting held up by the guard or the tackle. So it's not all about your numbers. So he plugging the hole a little bit, making things easier. So I'm happy to see him out there. And then Kendricks, and we're gonna see what Sante Samuels Jr. do this year too, man. He stepped it up quite a few. He's not the best tackler, but he's a physical short guy, good on coverage. He's getting smarter, getting better every year. Man, J.C. Jackson, man, that's the big question mark right there too. If he can come back and just give us a glimpse of what he did in New England, that would be perfect. But injuries once again, and he actually got hurt the other day in practice and hobbled off the field. So I don't know, we'll see. But last year he finished 10-7. If Kellen Moore can do his thing, we can take that number 1 spot. I can see us taking at least 12, 13 games. For sure, especially with the schedule we have. I think our hardest opponents are Miami, and then obviously divisional. You can never just count those as dubs unless you KC, because apparently y'all just been kicking our ass if we just being honest. But yeah, that's a little rough. Short draft of what we got going this year with the Chargers, man. Just staying healthy. That's the big question mark.
I guess I kick off the questions. So the Chargers are known to charger themselves, right? Y'all last year blow the 28-12 that lead was against 24-0. The season before that, blew the game against the Chiefs that y'all had won. Then the last game against the Raiders, y'all could have ended in the tie, and y'all doing some crazy stuff, and the Raiders ended up winning. Back when Marty Schottenheimer was the coach, y'all won 14-2 and then lost y'all first playoff game. Like every year, it seems like y'all always have a team that can win the Super Bowl, but then y'all charging yourselves. So what can y'all do?
Talent, man. We just can't never just get over that hump. I'm trying to be realistic about a lot, man. But I try not to get too emotional about it because, man, they'll have you heartbroken out here, man. You get your hopes up and then just boom, blow it at the last minute. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? I just don't get why you just let up, But like I said, with Kellen Moore, that's one thing, you can say about him with the Cowboys. They constantly trying to run up the scoreboard. And they had number 1 offense last year or year before last. So I think after the last 4 years, he had the number 1 offense at least 2-3 times. So man, we need that. We need that because like I said, with Joe, I wasn't a fan of that, at all. That was terrible. Anthony Lynn tried to do what he could, but I think he was more of a speaker, motivational guy versus like an actual coaching type guy. But yeah.
Oh, I had a question. So I got 2 questions actually. So first question is, how much pressure do you think is on Justin Herbert after becoming the highest paid player in the league? $262.5 million. For 5 years, $52.5 million. And especially for a guy who hasn't had any not even a playoff win on his resume yet. And the second question is, how short of a leash do you think Brandon Staley has had, that he has, considering he has had some questionable calls in the playoffs, especially after, like you said, blew a 24-0 lead to the Jaguars in the divisional round, which is a team that doesn't have any major playoff experience or anything like that. They're just as young as you guys. So what would you say to that?
With Herbert, man, one thing I love about him, he's just a regular guy. Man, he don't care. I don't know if you ever seen the thing he hates going to get on being on camera. He record him in practice. He tries to hide. I think he switched jersey with a few players a few times during practice to stay away from the camera. So, I mean, I feel like the money's not going to change him. He stays cool and calm. He's getting more mature. They say he's being more of a vocal leader, which is something that was kind of new for him because he's real quiet and kept. But I think he's going to continue to bring it. They keep that pocket clean for him and, like I said, open that playbook for him because he got the arm talent, as you've seen his first few years. But it's just like, man, he ain't really had no quarterback development for him. With the coaches, they had 2-3 different coaches, come in and that's not really good for a guy that you invested in. Like, what are you doing? But I think he'll be all right. I think he'll continue to get better. Like I said, I do like the Kellen Moore pickup. And going towards the Brandon Staley, I honestly feel like they kind of brought Kellen Moore in here, not only for the coordinator spot, but if Brandley, if you don't do good this year, Kellen, that's your spot. And I think that's why he came in, agreed to come in, because he had a few options, I believe. But I believe that's probably the number one reason why he came, because they probably say, hey, we'll give him this one more shot. After that, it's all yours. So you'll have the driver's seat. So that's what I think about the whole Brandon Staley.
Yeah, I would say Herbert has. If anyone can challenge Mahomes' arm, I think he's the guy. Honestly, the arm talent is ridiculous. Like the way he throws that thing, slings it like it's nothing. I'm like, yo, don't pop your shoulder out, bro. Like, chill out, man. And then your Chargers, I think if you guys stay healthy, you guys are the team I'm afraid of in the AFC West. To like, if you guys stay healthy, I think you guys could. You're the only team. Sorry, Broncos. Sorry, Raiders. Sorry, I don't mean to rain on your parade, but I think you guys have the talent and the roster. If you put it all together and stay healthy, they're the only team I fear in the AFC West.
Yeah, the Chiefs and Chargers have had their battles, man. Ironically, I was at that game in Arrowhead when we won with the 2-point conversion with Mike Will in the end zone. Oh, that was crazy. It was like 10 degrees out there, cold as hell, and like I wasn't expecting us to come back. And he caught the touchdown and the 2-point conversion wide open. Oh man, that was crazy. It was banana. And like, man, Arrowhead is loud. Like I agree, it's loud. If you can't hear we right next to each other, you can't hear nothing. So I know the players can't hear nothing either.
Yeah, I think Mahomes has to wear like earplugs to like try to decrease the noise so he doesn't like blow his eardrums out because he has to hear the play calls. I'm just like, damn, that's crazy. The decibels. I think there was some ESPN video stat they did on that. I forgot what it was, but it was insane. So I was like, damn, that's crazy. Yeah, and then what would you say for Staley if they have another disappointing season? Is he the head coach next season, going into next season?
He's going.
Go on, peace, deuces.
That's Kellen Moore. That's Kellen Moore's spot. And I like Brandon. He's a cool guy. And I like Anthony Lynn, too. He's a real cool guy, too. But, man, I want to win, man. I want to win one championship. I want to see one championship. One, man. I'm a Lakers fan, so I didn't see quite a few. So I got to have my football to win one, man. Yeah,
y'all have too much talent to continue to be disappointed. Too much talent.
And that's what hurts me. And I hate having to defend myself in arguments.
Nah, y'all good, man. I just hope y'all stay healthy this year.
I'm praying.
Ray, let me ask you this, man, because I'm somebody that did with yourself have the Chiefs, the Chargers over the Chiefs last season. And I think that can kind of be the same thing this season. I think the Chiefs, it's a chance the Chiefs can go down. And I think it's a possibility, if healthy, the Chargers can come up. And I think that's based on solely the season that Justin Herbert has. So I think that if Justin Herbert has more yards than Patrick Mahomes, then I think the Chargers will be number one. You agree with me or disagree? Do you think that Justin Herbert can average more yards or get more yards than Patrick Mahomes next season?
I agree. I think he can, especially in the new offense. But more importantly, if you look at all the games, there's no reason why we should have lost any of those games, if we're being honest. Like, we literally was on their head every single time. But I mean, obviously, Andy Reid is a hell of a coach. So, I mean, coaching definitely goes to him over any coach we've had in a while. But there's just no reason. Like, we just let our foot off the pedal each time, and it just missed tackles. Like, some of the missed tackles, they don't even make sense. Like, literally, it's 4 or 5 guys around Travis Kelce. This guy, I mean, he's a big dude, but come on, man. Like, it's just killing me. And, like, Kelce, it's funny. That game that Kelce, the same game Kelce went off at the last minute, like, Derwin locked him up like the whole game, and then Derwin went out like with his shoulder injury, something like that. And then next, he had like 160 yards. And like before that, I think he had like 3 targets, 1 catch for like 10 yards. Like Derwin had that on lockdown. But like as soon as Derwin go out, because he's the quarterback of our defense, obviously, and then we dealt with a bunch of injuries, so we got a bunch of new guys just thrown in there, and they probably don't know the pressure like that, especially out there in Arrowhead. It's loud. They don't know what's going on, but it's really no excuse why we should have lost almost all the games we played against Chiefs the past 6-7 times, honestly. There's no reason. If you just go back and watch it, like, you just like, how did y'all do this? Like, bro, like I said, Chargers going Chargers, which I kind of say the same thing about the Raiders, by the way, Raiders going Raider. You just throw the sparks out there, with the whole quarterback situation. I got rid of one bad quarterback and went and brought another bad quarterback. I don't know,
That's what made that game a couple of years ago so good. Both teams wanted to lose so bad, and they just couldn't figure it out. That's what made that game so classic. It was like, we'll win.
Y'all could just tied and both made the playoffs.
I don't know what he was doing, dude. I felt like they were. But honestly, we didn't deserve to go to playoffs that year. Like, we weren't ready, like, coaching wise. We got embarrassed. So we would have said what happened to us this year or this past year. That probably would happen again if we went to playoffs that year. So, but this year I'm expecting big things. They got to come with it. We got too much talent. We didn't invest all this money into Herbert. So, Keenan might be done after a few seasons unless he take another pay cut. So, I mean, I think Keenan deserves a ring. A few other guys deserve. DJ, he deserves a ring. So, you can pay all these guys, man. We ain't got enough money to give some other players in, so we got to make it happen. We got a short window spin, so we got to make it happen.
Do you see Justin Herbert MVP season loading?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean,
come on, man.
Come on, man. And then you add.
Oh, gosh. Mahomes might have something to say. He's like, I'm trying to get back to back.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be scary for these DBs out here, man.
Okay, I like the energy. I like the confidence. Okay, I just want to see if you're going to say if you were going to win MVP.
I can see it for sure. I can see breaking the title. I mean, I ain't gonna say breaking the passing record, but he got the most passing yards in the MVP. I can see that for sure.
Right. Any other questions?
Yeah, I think he had a question, and then I'm gonna go out there.
I was just gonna say, is Eckler? You think Eckler's gone? I know it's not necessarily this. You think it's the last season on the Chargers, though?
Man, probably so. I hate to say it, unless they can just come up with some kind of. I think maybe we win a Super Bowl and they might can give him some kind of another friendly, 2-year deal. But he's gonna be gone. But at the same time, he's not gonna get the money anywhere. Like, I get it, but like, you got all these other running backs taking huge pay cuts. You don't really have too much leverage. I hate to say it, and I get his frustration, man. He came in undrafted and been working his ass off with us, man. He deserves the money, but man. The owners and stuff, they blackballing these running backs. They just shuffle them, So I hate it for him, but he's probably going. He's probably going to go more than likely.
I just had a quick question, just to see if you're not a biased Chargers fan. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. What's the distance between him and everybody else? Do you think Herbert could catch him one day, or I just want to see your thoughts on that?
Man, if we being honest, nothing against Mahomes, but man. Mahomes is great, don't get me wrong, but having Andy Reid with him makes him like that much better. You gotta think Andy Reid. Look what he did with Donovan McNabb. Look what he did with Alex Smith. Like he just a with her. We just being real. Like it's kind of like the Tim Duncan going to the Spurs, being drafted to the Spurs. It just he fell in the
Tim Duncan's the greatest power forward of all time. It's not the. I think he would have been great anywhere. He might not have won the league championship.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, I like football, but basketball is my main thing.
Yeah, we're not going to on the hard way.
All right, let's get back to football. That's a whole episode from that topic.
A whole other topic for a whole other day.
Come on, man.
But that definitely helps a lot, man. So it's not too much you can do with that, man. Because even if like he lacks in any area on the field, like he gonna make it happen. And I feel like, man. I don't know, man. I don't want to say like I'm hating on him, but like just following with Andy Reid, that helped him a lot, man. Not saying that he wouldn't be great anywhere else, but like he would definitely want to be as talked about as he is right now if he was on another team. Because Andy Reid is he's that GOAT coach. Everybody loves to say Bill Belichick and all that, but Andy Reid, man, he's a game changer.
I'm shocked to hear that. Wow. So I'm not saying Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time. Wow, okay. Or Bill Parcells. Yeah, that's shocking.
Oh, Bill's up there too, but man, I mean, I had to like sit back and just really look at the work, but I'm gonna throw Andy Reid out there just for what he's done with what he's been given,
Respect.
Speaking of Bills, and I really don't care about the Buffalo Bills. Kellen Moore is someone that I'm gonna miss as a Cowboys fan. As a great offensive coordinator, and what he was able to do with the Cowboys last season with a not so good wide receiver core. If we're going to be honest about this, Noah Brown was our third wide receiver. He's like the fifth wide receiver for the Texans, and name me the other four wide receivers better than him on the Texans. It's trash. But anyways, I don't believe the Chargers get enough respect for their wide receivers. So where would you rank this wide receiver? I would call it a trio now, right? And if you want to throw on the halfback too, that's fine. But where do you kind of rank your wide receivers trio against the rest of the league? Because a lot of people don't hear enough about how good you guys are. I think we really just kind of talk about Mahomes and the rest. So go ahead.
I'm gonna throw some of our other receivers in there too. If I'm just, I gotta give them credit too, because like when Keenan and Mike was out, DeAndre Carter stepped up, man. Herbie made him look good out there. Joshua Palmer from Tennessee. I don't know if y'all remember him. Man,
he was on my fantasy team.
Oh yeah,
he was on my fantasy team last year. I know about him.
Yeah, he put up a few 100-yard games when nobody was there. So like, man, that's good to know your other third and fourth and fifth receivers can step up when you need to. So like, that means when Keenan and Mike's getting double teamed, like Quentin Johnston, you ain't going to worry about nothing. So like, you come out there and do what you do, man, it's gonna be butter. It's gonna be some numbers, some crazy numbers being thrown out there. But I got sidetracked. But yeah, our receiver room, man, it's nice. Like I said, I was on the fence with Quinn a little bit, so I don't want to speak too soon on him. I want to see what he does. First few games of the season. Because like I said, I really wanted what's old buddy. He went to the Zay Flowers. I wanted the route runner, man. I feel like that'd be nice with Keenan and them, but that's nice with Odell though, But I don't the potential what Quentin brings. We got the, I don't want to say top because I like the Chase and what is out there in Bengals. I like that group. I say they're number one if I'm not being biased. But we number two. I say we're number two with potential to be number one. As a whole group, I think we could be number one, but if you go by trio, number two, we'll be number two.
Any other questions? Cool. Let's get to the last part of the show. The fun stuff. AFC West predictions. So let's see where everybody got the teams ranked. Let's start with Daren. We'll start from the bottom. Daren, Chris, Ray, back up to the top. DJ, Sheedy, Took, then me. What is y'all order in the AFC West?
I feel like every time you like Daren, Raiders, bottom. I feel like that's a common theme today. That's
man.
I got my order.
Oh man,
I'm gonna go Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders.
I'm gonna go number one. I'm gonna go with Chargers number one this year. I think Chargers take the division this year. I think they push the Chiefs a little bit more this year. I think I go Chiefs number two. I go Chiefs two. I'm gonna go Broncos 3, and I'm gonna take my Raiders 4. I want to go over your Broncos.
That's how you know he's a non-biased fan.
I just can't take it. I don't trust my team enough to do it, and they have to prove to me at this point. After 20 years, you're talking about your quarterback play. It's cracking. It's the same thing. So that's my prediction for I do like the Chargers though, kind of beating out the Chiefs this year. I think they're still going to make the playoffs, the Chiefs, but I think the Chargers take it this year.
Yeah, Ryan Harris has the same prediction as me. Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders.
Man, y'all got me messed up, man. Chargers number one. I'm gonna give y'all number one. Broncos 2, Chiefs 3, Raiders second.
We got a bonus. Like you got the Chiefs off in the 3?
I do, bro. Like you talking about their receiving situation. Like they got past what they did last year, losing, but I ain't worried about the Chiefs. I really think they're gonna drop this year. So yeah, get out of here. If y'all can be hard on us for having a bad
when
year,
we get halfway through the season, man, I want to come back to this.
Let's do it. Hey, DM me. We can chop it up.
Can I ask a follow-up question? Do you say the Chiefs still make the playoffs as the third seed in the AFC West?
Something may happen, man. You just never know. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth closed.
Oh, damn! What? Yo, I didn't even need to make a blooper reel, Harris.
Hey, bro, we gotta bring some spice to the podcast. I can't agree with everything y'all saying. Goddamn.
Yo, my God, really said the Broncos at 2.
Yeah, really.
Oh, okay.
Let's just hope Wilson's not too busy with Sierra, man.
That's old, bro. That's old. That's last year's stuff.
Okay.
All right, right.
I'm gonna go ahead and put the Chargers 1, Chiefs 2, Broncos, Raiders. But I will say I think the Broncos and the Raiders will take a leap this year. I think Russell will get it together this year, and that's pretty much that was their own, weakness pretty much. Coaching was a little shaky too, but they'll get that together too. And I think Raiders, I don't know about the quarterback situation, but I like all the moves they made outside of the quarterback. Like, man, my buddy from Texas Tech, that was a good move. Him and Max Crosby, they gonna do some damage. I think the division as a whole will be what we thought it was last year, this year. So I can see 3 teams going to the playoffs for sure.
Ryan Harris said that Denver weed is amazing. Like Stephen A. Smith said, "Stay off the weed."
I have heard. I don't indulge, but I heard it's crazy up there. So, but just keeping it 100, y'all. I try to be objective and unbiased with stuff. Like for real, I really try to. But like with this one, just looking at the games played, like I know a lot of people don't watch Broncos games, especially how bad they got last year. But like the pieces that they got, bro, like Sheedy said it best. You talking about a couple of plays just going different and the quarterback situation just being a little bit better. We're talking about a whole different season, bro. So, like, I know the politically correct answer is Chiefs Chargers 1-2. I get that, but like, I'm rolling with my guys, so it is what it is, man. Y'all feel how y'all feel.
Hey, that Denver weed might be crazy, but ain't nothing about the California weed though. I heard that weed is different. I don't smoke at all, but I heard that California weed is different, man. I don't know if you. Yeah, California is a different world, man. Different galaxy.
Normally I go last, but Tuke and Sheedy, I'm gonna interject here because I got a different order as well. The Chiefs are still number 1, but I do have the Broncos ahead of the Chargers at 2, the Chargers at 3. With all 3 teams potentially making the playoffs. I think all 3 teams gonna be 10-7 and above. The reason why the Chargers always charging themselves at some point, they do it every single year. At some point, I predicted before the playoffs this year, and not in the playoffs. They always find a way. And I'm a big believer in Sean Payton. I really believe he's gonna turn. If, like Chris said, Russell Wilson is just even average, they take a significant step with their defense. So I gotta say the Broncos are second because the Chargers are gonna find it. They're gonna charge themselves at some point.
I got a quick question. Do y'all think the Chargers should have chose Sean Payton over Kellen Moore?
Will he agree to be the offensive coordinator? It's the real question.
Well, like as far as like, all right, we would have made him
fired.
Fired Brandon, made him
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I guess this is where I go now. Until I see otherwise, something about this Patrick Mahomes guy is still gonna make me give them the number 1 seed in the AFC West. Now, the weed that's being smoked on this podcast is there's only 7 teams that make it to the AFC playoffs, and y'all telling me almost half the teams gonna come from this conference. And we just did the AFCs. Now we're not gonna talk about the Patriots, but there's 3 teams that can make it from there, and we still ain't talking about the AFC North yet. Sorry about the AFC South. There's only 1. But back to what we're talking about here. I have the Raiders 4. You thought I was going to say Raiders second? I'm sorry, Daren. I'm not.
I thought.
I think we all agree the Raiders going to be dead last.
Yeah, I think we can until Jim Brown, and Jerry Rice come back. And so we're for that. But at number 2, I am going to take the Broncos. It's Sean Payton. It's Russell Wilson. It's 10 games by 1 possession. 10. And that defense, whether or not their coordinator is there or not, unless they change that scheme completely, and they may, they still got some dogs back there, ball hawking and taking care of some business. So I have the Broncos at 2. And the point that's been made, Chargers are going to charge. They're going to charge a credit, debit. It don't even matter, EBT. It doesn't even matter to me. But something's going to happen with the Chargers this upcoming season. Why? I tell you, because y'all got Kellen Moore, and he came from the Dallas Cowboys. That's why. He's going to put up all the yards, but y'all going to have to play to get all those yards. You'll see what I'm saying this season. Trust me.
Oh, my God.
Give me the Chargers, because I think what should have happened last year is going to happen this year. Chargers ain't going to be crazy and getting unhealthy and all that shit. Give me the Chiefs, because I ain't going to disrespect the GOAT that he is, and those will be the only 2 teams in the playoffs. Give me the Raiders. Give me the
Broncos.
Have you not heard this song before?
It's personal. It's personal. I know.
It's done. He is done. And I know I want the Raiders. I said the Raiders gonna get a top 5 pick, which they probably will. I'll be right there with him riding. Like, see what you said. He is done. Y'all got Sean Payton old ass trying to reincarnate Drew Brees Jr. old ass with the Russell Wilson old ass. No. Nah, dog. Nah.
All right, that's it though. That's
Sean Payton, Sean Payton ain't 60 years old yet.
Nah, dog.
Sean Payton still ain't even 60 yet.
He gonna be 60 next week.
He ain't that old. It's
Look up Sean Payton age.
He 59, yeah.
He
I would say it's some old coaches in the NFL. He's still not that old.
But the better ones are young. Outside of Ingram.
You got Brandon Staley that you expect to win division. So
and he'll be gone by next year. Come on,
not if they win the division.
Not if they win the division.
I ain't know he ain't.
Get on your 2 feet now. You just gotta win the division.
Ring, man. We're going for that ring.
It's time, man.
Somebody get married.
It's time for the Chargers to put it together, man. It's time. It's time.
Somebody, Brandon
Staley
Staley got married.
I'm with you, Ray. We're going all in. I'm with you.
Man. No, this was fun, y'all. This was
Get this win and no ride tonight is wild. He riding too much. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I need y'all to do.
She not riding enough. Okay.
All right. I'm about to
got Chris really had the Chiefs third, man. That's crazy.
I'm gonna have y'all turn y'all time cards.
I wasn't gonna disrespect the Chiefs like that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can already disrespect and put them in second. I ain't gonna do it like that.
Third is crazy, Chris. I want to know what you on, like for real.
Everybody is talking about me, and this man said the Raiders gonna be better than us. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
I expect Jimmy G to play. I expect Jimmy G to play better than Russell Wilson.
Okay.
That's actually not that far fetched, but
exactly. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand.
That's not that far fetched, but yeah, okay. I got you. But as we always say with the show, I guess y'all let everybody know to follow you. Start with DJ and go down to Daren, Chris, and Ray. So DJ, let the folks know where to follow you and your stuff.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm DJ Hamilton, multimedia talent of DJ Sports Show. I do video editing for my YouTube channel, DJ Sports Show. I do blogs on all things sports, DJSportsShow.com. Become a member; it's free. I do NFL, NBA, soccer, you name it. Over the years, I reach places from Italy, China, Canada, and so forth. Follow my podcast, DJ Sports Shows, on Spotify. I recently got on Amazon Music as well, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and so forth, wherever you get your podcasts. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram, same handle, DJ Hamilton23, as you see on the screen. And continue to shout out to anybody who likes sports.
Yeah, you can follow me over at Fatboy FadeAway Sports. Over at Twitter there. That's the only social media account I got out there. We do a lot of we do usually shows on Sunday morning. The X. Sorry, I forgot Xbox. We got to there. So we got that on Sunday mornings, 8 a.m. We usually do our shows. We'll do some other random kind of shows during the week. But yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on your platform. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Chris Ingram, host of the No Bluffin podcast with Bluff City Media, contributor over there. But we actually on break right now with No Bluffin. It's a Memphis Grizzlies podcast. So if y'all want to tap into that, we try to keep it raw and real. We don't try to just talk about numbers all day. We try to keep it honest over there, man. Let's be real, just like y'all. So I appreciate y'all, letting us on today for sure, talking sports, talking football, and man, we're gonna have to revisit this. In the DM at least, when the season is over, man. So, but it was a pleasure, y'all. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Ray, man, I do drone photography, videography, camera. I do sports photography as well. Sports photography. I don't have a platform like that, but Air Visions. If you want to check out some of my work, I appreciate y'all having me out, fellas. It's fun. Love talking football, play football, man. So you say we got to revisit this soon with the DMs or just give a call or something, just talk after a few games or something like that. Chop it up, man.
My guy, I got you, bro. But we just need to acknowledge Mike not being able to read real quick.
What do you say?
It literally says
no.
Bluff.
No, he said that. No, he said that on purpose. He said that. He said that on purpose.
No, I gotta get Mike, that's a homie, man.
Oh man. But it's all appreciate y'all. Well, yeah, definitely appreciate y'all coming out. This is like I said, fun. This was You're definitely going to revisit some things later on throughout the season, which I do.
Yeah, I gotta revisit Chris with that prediction, man. That's crazy. Bro.
But as always, y'all know y'all can follow us on the X or Twitter, whichever one still is. TikTok.
I'm still
IG.
calling it Twitter.
TikTok as well, IG and Facebook at LBR_media. Also subscribe, notify, hit the notification button on YouTube and Let's Be Real Media, and y'all get listen to all these episodes live or after we're on video, or go to any of the 11 different podcast platforms for audio needs. Yeah, Let's Be Real Sports. As well, check out our other podcasts on network, 3 The Hardaway podcast. They'll be returning this week with NBA basketball with 2 gentlemen right next to me, with Took Sheedy and also Savage, as well as Gene's report, as he's been kind of digesting the new movies that has come out. So you're a big movie guy, a big wrestling guy, and he's also basketball and football as well, but he kind of dives into a little bit of everything. So shout out to our guy Daren Jeans at the Jeans Report. As well, I'll also support us by signing up for our sponsor at BetStamp at signup.com/LBR. And as always, follow me on X/Twitter at DAONE_P Shark.
I told y'all how to handle this. Follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Tab Shakir, man. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for ganging up with us. Hey man, it was fun, man. We cracked jokes. It was fun, man. We appreciate y'all for real. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm just leave it at that. AFC West is going to be something crazy, and it's really shitty. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
And also, our other 2 members who were missing today, follow them at _Scott at the Art of Trevor. And till next time, peace.